Hey church family, I hope you guys are doing well and this video finds you all healthy and not having gone too stir crazy yet. I'm going to be speaking to you guys tonight with a little bit of words that have been on my heart, especially in the last 3.5 weeks. Quarantine started back on March 13th for us, at least in our family. The governor made the announcement on March 12th that all the schools would be closed up through um, April 5th, starting on March 16th. Just days before this, we started observing social distancing, meaning staying at least 6 feet apart from each other and no touching, hugging, anything like that. That night, on the 12th, March 12th, we decided that we were going to keep the boys home from school on the 13th. It was a really hard decision for us to make. We knew the boys wouldn't like our decision, being a Friday, and being that it might be the last time for a while that they'd see their friends and teachers. But as there was already a lot of sickness and flu running around in Calvin's class and all the exposure he had had, I didn't feel it would be a good idea for them to go ahead and go to school anyways and just run the risk of being sick. Watching the governor's address that night and reading the articles online, you could feel the fear emanating from the TV screen, from the articles, from every word that was written and being said. You could see the clouds rolling in. A few days later, a few days after we started our quarantine, a verse continued to come to the forefront of my heart. John chapter 1, verse 5. It says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." A few months ago, I had taken a picture of the sunrise from our back porch. It was a really cloudy morning. Boys had just gotten off to school, and the sun was just barely peeking through, but the way the light was shining, it made it seem like it was darker than it was. That was the picture that I took. I realized after hearing that verse constantly over the few days and looking at that picture that God was trying to remind me that the light cannot be overcome by the darkness as long as we continue to strive to see the light and to be the light. So fast forward a couple of weeks, since then a lot has happened. We now have a shelter-in-place order until the 12th of April, with expectations that will be extended. Physical face-to-face schooling has been canceled. It has been canceled for the remainder of the school year for a lot of states, not just Michigan, but for a number of states across the country. Grocery stores have put tape down marking how far to stay away from one another, making sure that you're not getting too close to each other. The CDC has now recommended that when you go out in public, you're wearing cloth masks and gloves, making sure that you are taking every precaution to take care of yourself. And our hospitals in some areas have been at capacity because of the hot spots here in Michigan. I feel very grateful that we are not in New York or California or Washington, New Jersey, anything like that. Um, but being in Michigan with this virus has still been kind of scary. Um, the three main hotspots here in Michigan, of course, have been Wayne County, Macomb, Oakland County, and the city of Detroit being the main hotspot. Our healthcare workers down there have been isolated from their families for 20 days going now. They've had to take extra precautions to keep themselves safe, and they're getting sick themselves. And in order to keep them from spreading the virus to their families, some healthcare workers are going as far as moving into a basement where the rest of their family members don't go, isolating themselves in another part of the house that no one else goes into, or staying at another place so they don't even run the risk of bringing anything into the house. It has turned very bleak. The clouds have rolled in, they're getting darker. It really looks like it's going to storm. But then this morning, I was reminded of a very, very special passage in the Bible. It's one of my favorites, and I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read Psalm chapter 46. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Nations are in an uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice, the earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come and see what the Lord has done, the desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress." Refuge is defined as a condition of being safe or sheltered from pursuit, danger, or trouble. Something or someone providing shelter, providing safety. God is our refuge. God is the light overcoming the darkness. And when it seems to overwhelm us, God is our refuge. We need to lean on Him. We need to lean on Him for our strength, our peace, and our help. I think all of us right now have a lot of anxiety and stress over what has happened, what is currently happening, and what will happen with this virus. We will not be able to get through this very trying time without some sort of refuge. Everyone's emotions are running high and tempers are short. If we remember that we have a refuge in God, then all that anxiety we feel, it's going to go away. In verse 10 of Psalm 46, it says, He says, Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. God is asking us to stop and remember that He, above all else, above everything else in this world, He is the one in control. No one and nothing else is going to overcome Him. When we shelter in Him, we have to remember to be still. Not in the sense of not moving, but in a sense of giving our worries, our anxieties, our fears over to Him. When we shelter in Him, we need to leave those things at the door and remember that He is all powerful and is the one that is going to take care of us, no matter what happens. Even if and when the storms try to shatter our windows and tear down our homes, remember that God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. And then when we get worried and scared or we forget, be still and know that He is God. He is more powerful than any virus, any storm, any war, and any fear. He will overcome the darkness because He is the light that shines. He is our fortress and is always with us, and He is the one that is sheltering us from this storm. His light shines like a beacon in the night, showing us how to get back to Him when we are needing that shelter. And it will continue to shine so that we can see Him no matter what. He is our shelter. He is the light that overcomes the darkness. No matter how bleak and how dark the clouds turn, He will always be protecting us